Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video we're gonna be working on these shorts here, and as you can see, just very simple. They are not very long, so they're kind of considered booty shorts in a way, but they're good enough coverage, and it's kind of you can do the length here to fit your preference. So if you want them to be very booty, you do less of the rows at the end here, and if you want them to be a little bit more conservative, then you can do longer on the leg side here. Okay, but this is what we're gonna be working on. If you guys have any questions about anything, I'm gonna talk about the yarn and all the materials that we need here. The buttons are something that I add at the end, so I don't talk about the buttons at the beginning of the video just because I didn't think I was gonna do the buttons there, but I will show you guys how to do that at the end if you do have these buttons. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my lovelies, before we get started, I'm going to show you all the materials that we're using for this project. And I have my yarn here. It's red, it's Azurite 100% acrylic. It's a lightweight number 3. This color number is 3025. And recommended hook size is 3.5 to 4 millimeter crochet hook. And it's 50 grams per skein. Like this, you will need 2 or more, depending on your size. And it's 140 meters for one skein like this. Okay, for a crochet hook size, I'm gonna use something a little bit bigger. I'm using 5 millimeter crochet hook, which is H8 US. It's just I prefer to use a little bit bigger. I have my scissors here to cut my strands. I have my darning needle, some stitch markers, and a tape measure to be able to determine the sizes. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're gonna get started here. So I'm gonna leave a little bit of a tail like this to be able to join my parts here together. We're going to be doing a band to begin with, and then the band need to be joined so that we can use so we can do the rest of the shorts. Okay, but just leave a little bit like this, not too much, and then we're going to go ahead and start by doing a slip knot. This is how I do my slip knot here. Please go ahead and do it however you do it. And then I'm gonna do a chain of 11. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Okay, and you're gonna do this band here to be representative of how wide you want your band to be. So for me, usually this 11, which is constantly what I do for when I do skirts, pants, shorts, I often begin by doing that. If you want, you can measure it and you will see that it's about 2 inches. It's often 2 inches. Okay, now that you have done that, and you can obviously do it shorter or less chains if you want it to be smaller, and you're going to do more chains if you want it to be bigger. But it doesn't matter how many chains you do, as long as you make it bigger to make the band wider, or shorter to make the band narrower. Now we're going to start by working on our first row here. We're going to skip that 11th chain, and on the 10th chain we're going to go in the back of it and grab the back loop and complete a single crochet like this. And then we're going to do that for the second stitch as well, third, fourth, all the way to the end. So we should have 10 stitches altogether that we have completed by doing this. Okay, so very simple. If you guys follow me, you know that this is a very first part that we do. It's often exactly the same. Okay, so I'm just gonna walk you guys here really quick. I'm gonna complete this chain, and then I'll show you guys how to start row 2. Okay, so this is the end of the first row. We should have 10 stitches here. Okay, so we're gonna start row 2, which is a repeat row for this part, and we're just gonna do a chain 1 and turn. And then in that very first stitch right here, we're gonna go ahead and complete a single crochet. Your chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And then in the next stitch, we're gonna go in the back of the stitch and do a back loop single crochet. And then we're gonna do that pretty much from to 9 until you have done 9 of these. And then in the 10th, we're gonna go through both loops as opposed to just the back loop. Okay, so again, if you know how I work, it's often 99.9% the way I complete my final stitch if I'm doing these back loop stitches. Okay, whether it's a single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, I often end up going through both loops for the final stitch. So as you can see here, I have 1 stitch to go, and I'm just gonna grab both loops as opposed to just this back loop. I'm gonna go ahead and grab both of them like this, and then complete my single crochet like that. So that's the end of row 2. Row 3 is gonna be the exact same way that we just did row 2, and you're gonna do this until you have a band that can go around the widest part of your hips, okay? So measure the widest part of your hips and then do the band that will come up to that length, or circumference, I should say. And you're gonna measure it with whether it's in inches or in centimeters. And that's all you gotta do. Now, the other part of this is that when you measure, make sure you are actually stretching your band so that your measurement is not when you let your band stay like this. It's going to be when you can really stretch it. The point for this is you don't want it to be too wide. You want it to just be able to come around the widest part of your hips. You want it to come up the widest part of your hips without any struggle. Okay, so you're going to do this until you have that measurement. When you have completed this, come back to the video and I will show you how to start the next part. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed my band here. So as you can see, this is how it's gonna go. I did about 100 rows altogether here. And of course, if I stretch my work, this band stretches quite a lot because of this type of stitch that we do. So when I stretch it completely, it comes up to the widest part of my hips, the circumference of the widest part of my hips, and that's what I want, okay? So this is what I have here. We have finished the first part of this. So we're gonna go into the second part. I'm gonna hold my work like this, okay? And I'm gonna use the string that we left hanging. I'm gonna bring in my darning needle and I'm gonna put that into this stitch here like this, okay? Into the, the hole of the darning needle. And then I'm going to line up my work here so that it lines up all the way like this. And then I'm going to take my darning needle and I'm gonna join. So I'm gonna go into this very first stitch here. And then on the other side, I'm gonna pull. And then I'm gonna do that one more time just to make sure I secure this beginning here. And then from here on, I'm gonna be grabbing the inside loop on the side that I have closest to me, and then the outside on the other side that is the furthest from me, like this. And then I'm gonna repeat this all throughout the 10 stitches. And because you have 10 stitches, you're gonna end up matching exactly here, okay? So make sure you do this all the way. Don't pull your string too tight when you're sewing. Just so that you don't wrinkle up your work. So go ahead and complete this and then come back to the video. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed part of this here. I have one stitch to go. So what I will do is I will just go through that final stitch. I'm gonna go through both loops like this. And like we did at the beginning, I'm gonna go back and just do it one more time like this. Okay, that way it kind of secures this area here. And then I'm gonna do it the third time. I should have done it in the second, but I can go back in and do it the third time and then just loop my yarn around like this. And this kind of locks that in like this. Remove your darning needle, leave this here in case you need to change anything. But so far, this is pretty much where the joining is. So it's barely visible. Okay, so this is my band here. And often, for those of you who are not aware, often when you do have wider hips, it means your band is gonna be a little bit loose for your waist. And especially if you have a smaller waist and wider hips, then what we're going to do at the end is we're going to do a drawstring so that we can have it fitting us properly. Okay, now for the next part, we're just going to grab the working yarn because we don't disconnect it when we did it. We're just going to grab the working yarn and we're going to go ahead and start working on this. So this here, we're going to start by doing a chain of 2. This chain of 2 counts as a double crochet. And then we're going to go into this next space here. We're going to complete a double crochet like that. And then we're gonna go into this next here and we're gonna complete a double crochet. Now, as you can see, we don't have actual stitches to work with here, but what we are aiming for, as we are aware, each of these bumps here is 2 rows. This is why it has this shape here, is because we have the back loop here and then we have the back loop on the other side. So we're gonna pretty much work it so that we have amount of stitches that adds up to the amount of rows that we did. So like I said, I had 100, so I should be able to have 100 stitches coming around all here. And all you have to do is just work your stitches into the top here, and then on the side right here you do the other one, and then you go right into the top of the other, and then on the other side you do the other one, and that way you have 2 stitches that are connected to each of these bumps here. Okay, so go ahead and do this all around. When you get to just going into where the string is coming through here, come back to the video and I will show you what to do next. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed my double crochets around the circumference of the pants here, or just around like this of the shorts. And as you can see, that's pretty much how it looks like. I will quickly show you how to join these two sides, and then I'll talk to you about why I have those stitch markers there. Okay, so I did my last double crochet right here, and I'm just gonna slip stitch on top of that chain 2 like this. And then we're gonna just kind of pause here for a second. Okay, so I'm gonna explain why I have these stitch markers where they are right now. And the reason for that is going to pretty much be because this is where I want to do my mesh, and I want to do my mesh here. So how did I come up with knowing where to put these stitch markers? I want to be able to have 16 stitches on each side, which is where the mesh is gonna go. It's gonna be on the side of your hips where the mesh is gonna go. And I need to have 16 stitches to complete that, okay? So what I did, I have my 100 stitches here because I did 100 chains, 100 rows. I'm gonna end up having 100 stitches. So I take that 100, I subtract 32, which is the 32 is the 16 from here and the 16 from here, my 32. So I subtract that from the 100. It leaves me with 68. I take that 68, I divide it by 2, I have 34. So what I did is I counted 16 stitches here. So from where the stitch marker is to where the stitch marker is, there's 16 stitches here. And I did the same here. From where the stitch marker is all the way to here, I have 16 stitches, okay? And then so that leaves me with 34 on this side here and 34 on this side here. So that is all that I'm doing, okay? So this is why I have the stitch markers where they are, so that I can actually work my stitches into them, okay? Well, where I can actually do my meshes. So then all I will do after I have just slip stitched here, I'm gonna do a chain of 2. Your chain of 2 always counts as a double crochet. And I'm gonna turn my work around like this. And I'm gonna go ahead and work my double crochets all the way to the stitch marker, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and just start my double crochets as usual, okay? And I'm gonna go all the way to where the stitch marker is. And then when we get to the stitch marker, we're gonna start to work our meshes, okay? And you want to make sure that these numbers are accurate, which is why it's important to have an even number, okay? Not an odd number, but an even number, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and work my double crochets all the way to the stitch marker. When I get to where the stitch marker is, I will do the last one right here. Come back to the video and I will show you how to start our meshes here, okay? See you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have done my 33 so far. I need to be able to remove the stitch marker so I can put my 34th stitch into that space. So I'm just gonna go ahead and complete my 34th stitch here, okay? So now I have my 16 stitches to work here. So what I will do is I will do a chain of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and this is where we start the mesh, okay? And then I'm gonna skip 2 stitches. So 1, 2, and the third, I'm going to do a single crochet like that. Then I'm gonna chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna skip 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5th, I'm going to do a single crochet. And I'm going to do a chain of 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna skip 4 stitches again. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 5th, I'm gonna do a single crochet like that. Then I'm gonna do a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2, and in the 3rd here, do a single crochet. Oh, sorry, do a double crochet, because we're now gonna transition into doing double crochets. So for this, we're gonna do a double crochet, okay? We're gonna remove that stitch marker. So I had moved the stitch marker to just the stitch before so that I don't have to go into it. And then, so this becomes my first double crochet on this side, and then I just do double crochets for the next 34 stitches, okay? So I just go all the way until I have a total of 34 stitches in the double crochet. And I would want you guys to do the same, because when we get there, we repeat what we just did here again, but it's gonna be on the opposite side of our shorts, okay? So count out 34 stitches, or however many actually, because mine is for my size. It's gonna depend on how long your band here was, how short it was. You're just gonna need to do your calculations where you do the math the way that we did it, okay? So go ahead and work your 34 stitches of the double crochet and then come back when you have done the 34th stitch. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I worked my 34 stitches here. So it brought me I just moved my stitch marker to here because I don't work into that stitch. Okay, so I removed my stitch marker from there and I have 16 stitches that I need to work into here. So what I do is I just repeat what we did on the other side. I start by doing a chain of 3 and then skip 1, 2, and in the third do a single crochet and then chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, in the fifth do a single crochet, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, in the fifth do a single crochet, okay, and then chain 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, in the third do a double crochet. Okay, so we're going to do a double crochet here and then we slip stitch on top of this side here like that. Okay, so this is how our first row of the meshes look like, and as you will see, the meshes are on each side of your shorts, so it's gonna be something like this. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the next row. You chain there you go, you chain 2, 1, 2, this counts as a double crochet, turn just like that, and as I turn I flip just to make it easier. There's this double crochet here, we work a double crochet in that stitch just like that. Okay, so you have 2 stitches here for this stitch and this stitch, and then for this row we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to start with a chain of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna skip all of this chain 3 gap here, and in the chain 6 gap we're going to do a single crochet and then chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip, go right into the next chain 6 gap and do a single crochet like that, and then do a chain of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go straight to on top of the double crochet here and complete a double crochet just like that. Okay, so the first row that we did, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 4 gaps. In this stitch in the next row we have 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3. So the first one we start with a chain of 3 and then we slip stitch, chain 6, slip stitch, chain double single crochet, chain 6, single crochet, chain 3, double crochet, and we do just 3 gaps of 6 chains each. Okay, and then we just continue to do our double crochets here all the way until we get to this gap where we have to repeat what we just did here. Okay, so I will have you guys work your double crochets until you get to the end, and your final double crochet should go right on top of this final double crochet here. Then come back to the video. I will show you how to do this one more time, and then we will complete this second row of the meshes and then come back. Okay, so let's just meet when you get here so I can show you what to do in the next gap there. Okay, my lovelies, so I've completed the 34 stitches or 34 stitches on this side. So as you can see, I am back to the mesh area. So for this round, just like we did on this round, we need to just do 3 of these gaps. So we start by doing a chain of 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we slip stitch on the chain 6 area, or like the single crochet, actually not slip stitch, and then do a chain of 6, and then a single crochet in the middle, and then chain 6, and then we skip over to doing a double crochet on top of the first double crochet on the other side, just like that. And then you work your double crochets all the way until you get back to the other side. Okay, so I will have you guys work these remaining of the stitches here. When you get to on top of this double crochet here, come back to the video and I will show you what to do next. Okay, my lovelies, so I just kind of stopped here after doing my final double crochet here, and I'm going to show you how to slip stitch again. So you just go in the chain 2 spot and slip stitch on top of it like this, and then you're going to do a chain of 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to go ahead and turn your work. And then now we're going to, and as you can see here, there's a double crochet that we have left here. We're going to finish it when we come back around. Okay, so you turn right after the second last double crochet. And then we do a chain 2 and turn, and then we go and work backwards and complete our our double crochets all the way to the mesh. And then when we get to the mesh, we do our mesh section. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do that when we get here, because every other row we do, so for example, for the first row here of the mesh, we did 1, 2, 3, 4 gaps. In the second row, we do 3. In the next we do 4, in the next we do 3, and we just alternate it like that. But I would want you guys to work these double crochets all the way to the last stitch before the mesh, and then come back, and I will show you one more time how to do that, including finishing this row. So we need to be able to come back here, and then I will go ahead and let you guys work the rest of it on your own until we hit a section where we need to start to separate our legs. Okay, so go ahead and work it until you get to here for now, so I can show you how to do this mesh section, and then we will go ahead and move to finish off. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I've completed the stitches here, so I'm gonna go back and do the mesh section. So since we did only 3 in the previous row, we're going to be doing 4, and to do the 4, we're going to start by doing a chain of 3, and into this chain 6 gap, we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in the middle section of the chain 6, we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to do a chain of 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in the next gap of chain 6, we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to do a chain of 3, and then double crochet on top of the double crochet here. Okay, and then work the rest of the double crochets along until you get back to the other mesh section. So as you can see, we have the chain 3 on the edges and then the chain 6 in the middle. So go ahead and complete your double crochets until you get to here. I will show you how to do the same thing on this side, and then we will complete the row together, and then I will show you guys how to do the next row. And if you're looking to increase, just to increase the body of the shorts a little bit, especially if you have really wide hips and you don't want your shorts to be too tight, I will show you how to increase it there. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so we are on the other side now of the shorts, where we'll do the same thing that we did on this side here. So we start by doing a chain of 3, and then single crochet in the middle of that chain 6, chain 6, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, single crochet in the middle of this chain 6 here in the middle, and then chain 6, and then a single crochet in the next chain 6 gap like that, and then now we do a chain of 3 and double crochet on top of this next double crochet here. So as you can see, we're finishing off the double crochet we had at the beginning of this row, and then we go ahead and slip stitch on top of the chain 2 like that. So this double crochet belongs to this double crochet, so all of your double crochets are lining up, they all kind of go on top of each other. Okay, and then we do a chain of 2 and turn, and I flip my work as I do that as well, and then work a double crochet on top of this double crochet here like that. And then now I'm going to do the other alternation, which is what we did in the second row of the mesh. Now we're going to do it in the 4th. So it means we do a chain of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to skip this chain 3. In the chain 6 in the middle, we do a single crochet. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go into the middle of the chain 6, complete a single crochet, and then do a chain of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then do a double crochet on top of the double crochet here. Okay, so as you can see, this is what we have done on this side, and if we put our shorts down like this, okay, the mesh area will be on each side of our hips like this. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you guys if you're to increase. Now, the way you will determine if you need to increase or not increase is you're gonna, I would say, put these on. Try to, at this point, you can pull them up your hips to see if this fits properly. And if it does fit properly and it's flexible and it's nice and loose, don't increase it. But let's say you want to increase because you want it to be a little bit looser than it may seem or it may fit, then this is where you will do the increases. So I will increase mine so I can show you guys. I have really wide hips and I would like my shorts to be a little bit nice and comfortable, not too loose but not too tight either. I don't want them to hug me too tight. I want me to be able to feel comfortable when I have them on and not feel like I'm being restricted. Okay, so to increase, what I will do for mine, I will explain to you how you can increase, by the way. So we know we have 34 stitches here. So what you can do is divide it into 2, and you can do an increase in the middle. The other way you can do, depending on how much you have to increase, is you can increase it halfway. You divide it by half. You do one in the other quarter side, and you do the other one in the quarter side, which is what I am going to do. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I know I have 34 stitches here. So I need to do about 11, maybe on the 11th. And at this point, it doesn't matter if you're actually counting them properly, as long as you do the same as the other side. So I have my 1 double crochet here. I will do another double crochet right here. And then another one right here. And I'm going to do, let's say 10. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to do in the 11th, I'm going to do 2 double crochets. So instead of doing 1 double crochet here, I'm going to go in and do 1 and then do another one right in the next, or in the same one. Okay, and then what I will do, just to make it easy, is I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 stitches here, and as you know, I increased in the 11th. So I'm gonna work an increase in the stitch right before the stitch marker, because I have 10 from the stitch marker. This way I have 10 double crochets. So I will just make it easy like that and just go and work my double crochet in the next however many stitches that are in the middle. I don't know how many, but it's not the point. But I just work my double crochets until I get to the stitch right before the stitch marker, and in that stitch I will work my 2 double crochets. Okay, so as you can see, very simple. Okay, so as I'm approaching the stitch marker, so I finish this here, and then in this stitch here before the stitch marker, I put my 2 double crochets to increase. So which means I increased in this section here by 2 stitches. So I have 2 extra stitches here now, which would mean I will now have 36 as opposed to 34. Okay, so I remove my stitch marker, and in the next 10 stitches, I just work my normal double crochets. Okay, and then the most important thing is on the other side, I gotta make sure I do exactly what I did on this side. And the way I do that is I just count when I get to the double crochet section. I just count in my 10, in the 11th I increase, and then I count 10 on the other side, place a stitch marker, and then work until the stitch before the stitch marker, and work 2 double crochets in that stitch, and then remove my stitch marker and just work my regular double crochets all the way to the end. Okay, so I will work the mesh section here. And then what I will do is I will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will put my stitch marker here. This is where I will work my double crochets until. And then in the 11th, actually let's do this. I'm going to remove the stitch marker. In the 11th is where we will work our increase. So I will remove this, put 2 double crochets there. And then what I will do on this side, and keep in mind, this side is the beginning of the row. So you're going to count these 2 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to place a stitch marker in the 10th, knowing that in the 11th, so just right before the stitch marker, is where we will do our other increase, which is 2 double crochets in that stitch. and then I will work my remaining stitches here, slip stitch here, and then that's done. And then it would mean we increased by 2 stitches on each side, which means in total we increased by 4 stitches. Okay, and then for the next row we don't increase at all. You just work in the next row as usual, and then in the next row after that you can increase however you want if you need to. If you don't need to, you can just increase once like this, but if you need to increase again, you will do that by following the same logic. Count out 11 or 10 or 11 stitches on each side, increase on each side like this, and then repeat the same thing on the other side. The next row you don't increase at all. The next row you follow the same logic, and you can do that until you come to the size here that you think is comfortable for you. And by doing this, you could just keep trying it on until you find that it's comfortable. Now, how do we know how long to work our work down? You're gonna work your work down from where you want it to start on top. So this is your band here. So however long further up your body you want this to go, all the way to the opening of your legs. Okay, so let's say that I want this to start from my belly button. So let's say my belly button is right on top of my work here, and I want to be able to work it let's say all the way to the opening of my legs. Then I will place my tape measure like this, and then I will go down to where my legs open. So let's say it's 9 inches. Then I will work this work here all the way until I get to 9 inches, including from up here. Okay, so 9 inches will be from here to here, and then we will come back to the video to start working on the legs. Okay, now just have to make sure you know, and if you want this to go below your belly button, then you do the same logic. Just make sure you know how wide or how high you want your shorts to be, and then measure from there all the way to the opening of your legs. And then when you have the number of rows that corresponds to that, come back to the video, and then we will work on doing our leg opening. Okay, all right, so I will go ahead and work mine. Mine usually comes up to about 18-20 rows from here, and then when I have that number, I will come back to the video and we will work on the rest of it together. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have worked the length of my shorts here. So as you can see, this is pretty much how long it is now. If I take a tape measure, let me see. I was aiming for 9 inches, but I can go a little bit over. I did go over by an inch. So I actually have 10 inches as opposed to 9, which is okay. It's just enough for me to be able to make sure I can now start the leg opening. And as you can see, I worked my project here. This is where I slip stitched. So let me undo that final slip stitch here, or final stitch. So after I did my chain of 3, okay, and then I went into this next stitch here with a double crochet, and then I slip stitch on top of the double crochet or the chain 2. So this is all I did here. And now I'm going to cut my yarn off somewhere here, not too much, just a little bit, and then I'm going to do a chain 1 and pull. Okay, just like that, and then we lock that in so that it doesn't come out. What I also did is I counted my stitches from here to here halfway. I put a stitch marker, and then I did the same on the back side. I counted, and then on that stitch I did a stitch marker. Okay, so, and I'm gonna explain to you a little bit of what I did here. So like I showed you how to increase, I increased on this stitch here, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 6th stitch, I started to increase by doing 2 increases on the same row. And then I did a row without increasing, and then I increased on this row. I did a row without increasing, and I increased in that row, and then that's where I stopped. Okay, so I increased 3 times, which means on each side, which means I have 2 here, which is 4, and then 2 in the next, which is 8, and 2 in the next, which is 12. So I have 12 extra stitches on each one of the sides here, which is why you see it going kind of a little bit outwards like that. Okay, all right, so with that done, we're going to now start our leg portion. So as you can see, this is where we ended our work here. I'm gonna flip the work this way, and I'm going to put my yarn here so we can put the section that's gonna separate the legs, okay? And this is gonna be easy because we work the sides exactly the same, so we don't have to worry about that being any different than what we've been doing, except we will just work on one leg here first and then we will work on the other leg. Now, the way you would determine how many chains to do here would be how big your thighs are, okay? So what I recommend is put a tape measure around your thigh, around the widest part of your thigh, and whatever that comes up to, measure whatever your shorts are right now like this without the increase here. Just measure that, and then you're gonna know how many more inches to do here. So for example, if my the widest part of my thigh is 20 inches and I measure this here and it's like 15 inches, then I need to do a chain here that is the extra 5 inches to make this 20. Okay, so I hope that makes sense like that. So for me, I've already done the calculation. I'm going to do a chain of 10 here. So I will remove my stitch marker. Just get that guy out. Okay, I will put my hook in that gap, in that stitch, put my yarn that I just did a slip stitch on through, bring it through like this. And then from here, I will do my chain of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to bring the other side. I'm going to remove my stitch marker on the other side. And then I'm going to go into that stitch where the stitch marker was, bring my yarn through and slip stitch. Okay, so this is now going to be part of doing this side and then doing that side. And now that I have completed that, I am going to flip my work. Sometimes people cut the yarn here, slip stitch, lock it, and then reconnect the yarn to work around. I will go and continue working on it from here. Okay, so this is where my stitch is. I'm gonna work myself this way. Actually, this is where we slip stitch, which means we will turn to go back that way. So I will go like this. I will work my work this way. So I'm gonna go around like this, okay? Just to keep the stitches consistent, because we do turn to go the other way, it will make this pattern stay the same like this, okay? So I am going to go ahead here and just go ahead and slip stitch in the next stitch right here, okay? I'm gonna slip stitch here, and then let me just make sure it's a little tight. Okay, slip stitch here, and then do a chain of 2. So 1, 2, and this is gonna be the stitch that goes with this stitch here, and it's a chain of 2, counts as a double crochet. And then I will just work my double crochets along all the way to where I have the mesh. Do the mesh, just follow the pattern like we would have done, and then we will go ahead and go all around until we get back to the other side, where we will then work across this bridge here that is created by the chain 10, and then we will connect. So this is where we're gonna be turning every time is right here, because this is where we will kind of complete the row and then work ourselves back like this, okay? So for now, I'm gonna just work myself around. So I'm gonna go do my double crochets. So as you can see here, we did the row that has 4 gaps. So the chain 3 gap, the chain 6 gap, chain 6 gap, chain 3 gap. So which means the next row we're gonna do is the 3 gaps of 6 chains each. Okay, so I'm gonna work myself around all the way to where the base of this chain is, and then when you get here, come back to the video and I will show you how to work across the chain and how to slip stitch and then start the next row. Then we will talk about how you need to do however many rows you need to do to cover your leg or to cover your thigh, however long you want it to go down your thigh. Okay, for now, let's meet when you get back to the base of the chain right here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have worked my double crochets from where we started the chain here all the way to where the other side of the chain is, as you see here. So I'm gonna work a double crochet. So as you can see, just so I can explain this, so we did a double crochet here that goes with this double crochet. Now we need to go into this gap here to go into this double crochet, and then the double crochet that will line up to this is going to be on the chain. Okay, so we go ahead and complete a double crochet here, and then you will need to hold your chain in a way that it's going to allow you to work on it properly. So this is the back of the chain here, and this is the front. So as you can see, I'm pivoting it a little bit so that I can work in the back of the chains. So I'm just going to grab the back of the chain for the first stitch right here. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but we're going to find it so we can make sure we work in the back. And the reason I work in the back on the chains is just a preference. I find that it makes it nice and even on both sides. So this is why I work in the back of the chains as opposed to just going through the loop, the front loop. I instead go and grab the back loop. Okay, so this is what we do here. We just go ahead and grab our back loops of the chains to complete our double crochets, and this is going to take us all the way along the chain to this side here, where we will then complete and then start the next row. Okay, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about how you determine how many rows to do for the leg, and then you can finish that by yourself, and then I will come back to show you how to start the second part. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just going towards the end of the chains here. Okay, there, and then my final one is here. There you go, and you should have 10 stitches here. I'm not gonna count. You will count yours if you need to, but I'm not gonna count. So now that's my final. I'm gonna do a double crochet into this gap right here, just like that. And this is just to make sure we close this section here properly. Okay, and then because this is the chain 2, which counts as a double crochet, we're gonna do a double crochet right here. It's in the same spot that the chain 2 comes out of, like that. And then we're gonna slip stitch on top of this chain 2. So 1, 2, so on top of that here, we're gonna slip stitch. Okay, like this. So now we have a complete leg here, and because we work and then turn around, we're gonna chain 2 and turn, and then we're gonna pretty much at this point just follow our double crochets around until we get to where the mesh is. Follow the pattern for the mesh, and then you will get back to here. You will chain, finish your double crochet here, chain, slip stitch, and then chain 2 and turn, and then you're gonna work like this until you have what you need for the leg. Now, how do you know when to stop? It's pretty much the shorter you do, the booty short it's gonna be. The longer you do it, the more it's gonna go down your leg and then have more coverage. So that's how you will know. So what I will do for mine is I'll probably do about 5-6 rows. It's just enough to go past my back side so that it's not too revealing. And then I will come back to the video to show you guys how it looks like, and then also to get started on the other leg. So, but for now, I'm gonna do, let's say 4 rows and then try it on and then see how it looks. If it requires me to do more rows to have more coverage, I will obviously do more rows, and then when I'm satisfied with how much coverage I have for it, I will come back to the video. So you go ahead and do exactly the same thing. When you have that done, come back to the video and I will show you how mine looks like, and then we can start the other side. Okay, so I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed 6 rows for the leg here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 6 rows. I tried it on, it's this perfect size that I want. So I worked my 6th row, I did my final double crochet here. So what I will do is slip stitch on top of the chain 2 that we began the row with, and then I'm gonna cut the yarn off and slip stitch. Okay, so that we just close it like that. I take my scissors, cut it there, and then I'm gonna do a chain 1 to close it off. Okay, just like that. So as you can see, this is pretty much one leg down. Okay, so this is how it looks like, and then I'm gonna start this side as well, so we can do that the same way that we did this. And I'm gonna obviously do 6 rows as well, so we can match it up with this side. So with that said, I'm gonna go right into this stitch right here, and I'm gonna go and do a slip knot here to be able to connect it. So just like that, remove my hook, put my hook, I'm gonna go right into this one here, put my hook there, and then go in, bring it in, and then do a chain of 2. And then I am going to go into the next stitch right here and complete my second double crochet, because the chain 2 counts as a double crochet, and then go into the next stitch. And from here on, we do exactly what we did with the first side, where we just work our stitches the same. When it comes here, do your mesh, the following the pattern, and then come back to here. So when you get to this other side here, the opposite side, come back so I can show you how to work the bridge here, just like we did the first time, and then how we can connect to this side here to complete this first row for the leg. Okay, so I'll let you guys go ahead and just work until you come back to this side right here. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I have worked my row here, the first row on the other side of the leg, and as you can see, I just came on the other side here. So this is the leg that is completed. So now we have to work across this side here. Now I'm going to, as you can see, I did a double crochet there. I'm going to go ahead and do another double crochet in that same stitch, just to make sure this gap is not too wide. And then I'm going to move over to this side here, do a double crochet in that gap. And then now I can work my stitches across like this. We have 2 options. We can go and grab these stitches and go across like this, but it's going to be a little bit difficult. It's very, very tight, and it will take a little bit of a longer time to try and make sure you grab the stitch. So what I will do is I will just go between the stitches like this. It's not going to make much of a difference. It's just going to make it easy to go across easier, so it will look like this. So it's not a big difference at all. Okay, so I just go and do my stitches pretty much between the each double crochet. I go in and grab my double crochet and complete it like that. I have done some work where I go through the actual stitch, but I tried this last time and I realized it's not gonna make much of a difference. It just looks as much as it would do if we went through the stitch, but it's just for this row here. For this row is for the next row, we're gonna grab the actual stitches, so we're not gonna go through these gaps for the next row as well. We're gonna go through the actual stitches because it will be easier. Okay, so as you can see, I did my double crochet there, and now I'm gonna go ahead and do a double crochet right here, and a double crochet where that is coming through like this, and just to minimize the space here. And then I will go ahead and slip stitch on top of this double crochet that the chain 2 that we started the row with, like that. Okay, so this is how it should look. And then I'll do a chain of 2 and turn, and then from here on is as simple as you can get it, which is pretty much working your double crochets around. When it comes to the mesh area on the side of your hips, you do the you follow the pattern, and then pick up the double crochets on this side all the way to here. Your final double crochet will always go in this space here, because as you can see, that will be connected to this, as this is connected to this double crochet right here. Okay, so go ahead and do the number of rows that you did on the other side. So for me, it will be 6 rows. We have already completed the first. I'm working on my second, and then I'll go ahead and do 3, 4, 5, 6. And when that's done, I will come back to the video to pretty much complete the work. And what I will probably do is I will weave in all these hanging strings from just kind of changing where we disconnect to start something else. And when I have all that completed, I will come back to the video to show you the final product. And I will try it on beforehand to see if I need a strap. If I do, I will do the strap, and then I will come back and kind of talk to you guys on how I did it. Okay, so for now, just go ahead and complete your rows and then come back to the video at the end. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the shorts here. So I did my second leg just like I did the first, and then I pretty much weaved in all the ends. So as you can see, the beginning of our project where we had the ends, I removed those as well as where we finished the project off in the middle here. Okay, so this is the part that goes under our legs like this. And as you can see, this is pretty much how our shorts look. Okay, so with these shorts, they are exactly the same on each side. So you can either wear it like this as the back or like this as the back. Either way, it's not gonna make much of a difference the way it looks. And then so all you're gonna do is yeah, that's it. You're gonna put them on. If they fit you properly without needing a strap here, you leave them like this, or you can put the strap on just for the aesthetics of it, so it doesn't have to necessarily be for making sure they're tight. So this is one of the reasons I did that. This can fit in my waist, okay, a little bit loose, but it's okay. I don't want it too tight, so I don't necessarily need a strap, but I did a strap so I can use some buttons to kind of make it nice with the aesthetic of having this hanging on it. Okay, so I went ahead and I did a chain of about 200. So this is a long chain here, so just a normal chain, nothing else, just a normal chain like this. Okay, so that's my chain that I'm gonna use as a strap. The way I make it easy is I take my darning needle. As you can see, when I cut these off, I left a little bit of a tail like this so that I can use this to put it in the darning needle like this. And this fits in the darning needle. The chain here fits in the darning needle just fine. Okay, so I'm gonna do it like this, and the way I will put it on is I will just count. I will place it exactly equal on both sides, and I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 on each side with the exception of these 3. So I'm going to use these 3 here as the middle of my pen. So which means I'm going to put my darning needle here, and I'm going to go through like this. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to weave it in like this and come out here, going like this and come out here. And then I will pull. So as you can see, when I pull, it comes out like this. So this is how your strap will look. And then I will pretty much just weave this all along, and as you can see, I do it as high on top of the pants as possible so that it's not crunching it in the middle. Okay, so I'm gonna do this all around until I come back here. So I need these 3 middles to not be touched, so which means I will have this side here and right here. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that, and I will see you guys when we get there, and then I'll talk to you about how we put the buttons on. Okay, my lovelies, so I have put the strap on. So as you can see here, not the strap on, but yeah, I did put it on here on the pants. And then so what I need to do then is I will just remove this. So as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3. It ended up being 4 boxes because if I go in here like this, I'm gonna end up with just 2. So I ended up leaving at 4 so that we can tie this here. Okay, and you can leave this gap as wide as you want or as close as you want. I just happen to have this 4. So I'll remove my darning needle there, and what I will do is I will just kind of move the string around so that I can equalize the length on each side. Okay, so I will pull this side like this, almost like I'm about to crunch it, and then I just kind of adjust it like that until I have both sides equal in length. Okay, so it's still a little bit short on this side. I can just do this and then adjust it like this. Okay, so you just kind of play with your strap here or your drawstring until both sides are a little bit equal. So as you can see, if I put it like this, they're now equal. Okay, and you just kind of play with it like this. Okay, now as you can see, my straps are now equal here in length. And so I have these buttons here that I got from Amazon. I'm just going to use some of this to decorate my shorts here a little bit. So I just took a handful of them. I think what I will do is I will have these ones here like kind of like a reddish color tone to it. If I put it like that, I don't know if you can see. And then these other ones here are a little bit of a lighter color, like this. Okay, you see the difference? Okay, so what I will do is I will do 3 on each side, and I will have the red as the middle and these other color here as the 2 sides. So I'll use these 6 here. So I'll take this and put it back, and you can do just 1 button if you want, or you can do 2 or however many, but I will do these 6 here. Okay, so I'll do 3 on each side. So I have my string here. I need to alternate these 3, so I just kind of play with this and make it nice and as straight as possible. And then this is the color I want to go on each side of the red, so I'll put this first. And it's a little bit difficult here, so I can use my darning needle to try to push it through like that. And then I'll put the reddish one in the middle. Actually, I want to see if this will fit, because you can also use a darning needle if you have one that fits. I don't, oh, they fit. Okay, so what I will do is I will put this here like this, and then I can use the darning needle to put this through like this, like that. Okay, so much easier. Okay, so I have these 3 like this. I think they look really nice. And then I'm going to pretty much knot the end of my string on this side. Okay, and by the way, if you don't have any buttons, don't worry about it. It wasn't part of the tutorial, just something that I thought of doing at the end. But if you do and you want to make it a little bit nice and decorative, you can grab some buttons. So as you can see, I'm just doing as many knots as possible at the beginning or the end of this here. Then I'm gonna cut off the string like that, and then I will do another knot to stop my buttons from sliding out. Okay, so right in the at the edge of this part, I will just do a couple of knots. So let's say that's one, and then I'll do another one just to make it so that it's a big enough knot here for it not to come through. Okay, something like this. So now they will not come out. And then I'll do the same on this side. Just need to twist this, twist, 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 put it through like that. And then we go with the color, the red, or the light color, the red, and then the light color, and then push them through. And these buttons are wooden. It's wood, so as you can see here, it has a little bit of residue because I pull it through, so it kind of scratches the inside of that too. That's why there's this residue of the white here. Okay, and then I'm just going to knot the edge end here multiple times. Oops. Okay, and then we're gonna cut the excess yarn there, and then knot this end here multiple times again to create the big knot that it will not allow the buttons to go through, like that. And then there you go, and there you go. So let's check these out to remove all of this dust thingy. Okay, so this is pretty much it. So then when you have your shorts on and you want to just do a little bit of a knot here, or like of a tie, you will just do something like this, or however you do your knot. There's many different ways to knot things, so we will just do something like that. Okay, so something like this. So this is how you would wear your shorts, like this. Okay, so that is pretty much it. So this establishes that obviously this is the front side of our pants and the other side is the back, just because this is going to be what goes in the front. Yeah, but that's pretty much it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed doing this. This is the first time I'm doing the shorts with the mesh on the side like this, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I will probably do like skirts or pants, long pants, with the same design here in the future, so look out for that. But I have other different type of shorts too where you don't have this mesh on the sides. So yeah, check out the channel. You will see all of these probably under the short playlist. Okay, so this is it. Thank you so much again for watching the video to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like, share as well, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.